Hello and welcome back to the Arcane Forge. My name is Josh and today we'll be embarking on day 15 of the Drawtober challenge. For those of you just joining me, the Drawtober challenge is an illustration challenge, self-imposed, where I try and draw every single day throughout the month of October using the randomly generated prompt list on screen now. Now you're very welcome to join me in that as well. Hopefully at the end of this I can share some of your artwork. We can have a chat about it and see what you guys came up with. If you feel like you've missed out on a couple of these now, because we are at day 15, don't worry, I've made a playlist of all of these videos so you can watch them back to back. But today's prompt word is prediction, something I've been very excited about. So, as I only have a day to complete this illustration and upload things, let's not waste any more time. Let's get started with prediction. Now I should mention as well, I did say this in a bit more depth in yesterday's video, but in case you missed that one, I'll do the TLDR version. I'm moving into a new home. There's lots of work going on in this home. So there's a chance there's going to be some weird acoustics in this room while I try and figure out what room is best to record in. And there's also going to be drilling and hammering and so on because people are working on the house. Now I'm going to try and minimize that as much as possible, but with this being a daily challenge, I don't have time to re-record things or stop recording for huge lengths of time while I wait for people to finish up what they're doing. So, hopefully it won't be too bad and we can make do. But yeah, so today's illustration of prediction. I immediately knew what I wanted to draw here. But I faced a tiny bit of a dilemma because I've kind of already drawn it in a previous sort of Inktober/Drawtober challenge. So in my campaign world, I have a character called the Daughter of Chaos. She's a kind of demigod, or maybe a full god, I'm not quite sure, who, as the name suggests, is the daughter of the personification of chaos, the god of chaos. And being a demigod, I guess, gives her kind of more autonomy, gives her more connection to the people of my world. So she regularly sort of visits people, she regularly sort of sees my party every now and again. She is the person, I have a terrible addiction with D&D in that I want to put the deck of many things in every single campaign. It's become a bit of a joke. And she is the person who sort of makes predictions for the party and usually dishes out in tarot card reading style the deck of many things. So far in my current campaign I have managed to resist doing such a thing, but as it's become a bit of a trope, but you never know, maybe I will absolutely destroy my party once again with the deck of many things. She usually appears, I mean she can shapeshift so she can appear however she likes, but she usually appears as an older woman wearing a long, sort of tattered maybe, red hooded robe covered in furs and jewellery and so on. And in the shadows cast by her robe over her eyes, the shadows and the wrinkles of her skin, observant players will be able to see starlight twinkling within. Something that I use regularly to indicate that someone is a divine creature, a god or a goddess of some kind. Now I illustrated exactly this in I think my first Inktober, and I wanted to kind of come back to it, so I thought I would mix it up a little bit here. I went for a kind of Morrigan Witch of the Wilds kind of element to her. I gave her some twigs protruding from her hair as ornaments, lots of beads and jewellery. Really emphasised the fur thing here that she's wearing around her neck, kind of almost melding into her long, kinked hair. Because the Daughter of Chaos, to me, kind of takes on the appearance of a witch. Not a hag, but a witch. And when I first played the Dragon Age Origins game, it kind of really cemented to me what I wanted witches to be like with the addition of the character Morrigan. Someone connected to nature magic, someone connected to the old magic, something mysterious and a little bit dangerous. I suppose kind of like the Fae in general, you know. literal, wicked, cruel, but also helpful. I suppose like the concept of nature in general. It is the source of all of life, but at the same time it is unsympathetic and uncaring. You need to bend to it. It doesn't have to accommodate you. Wild magic. And that always reminds me that I always suggest if any of my players want to play as a witch, or if I want to make an antagonist who's a witch rather than a hag, I always suggest using a druid for this kind of class. I know the sort of initial feeling might be, I'll go for a creepy warlock, but then who are you getting your power from? You're not a sort of autonomous witch character. A wizard, to me at least, seems far more scholarly and less wisdom-driven. I think witches, in the conventional sense, are kind of, it's wisdom earned and handed down throughout the generations. It's understanding how the natural world works and manipulating it, rather than sort of mathematical algorithms and theories and dominating magic. It is working alongside magic, so that says wisdom to me. Morrigan was a character who could shapeshift as well as do the kind of conventional magic, and that again kind of just says to me druid. So I used a lot of influence from her and her mother Flemeth in my illustration of this character, and I tend to take a lot of inspiration from them whenever I make a kind of witch character. So I drew this Daughter of Chaos here, granting a prediction to a forlorn person on the other side of her table. She's actually using a lot of stuff to make a prediction here. She's got a crystal ball which shows an unfortunate skull throughout its smoke. She's got tarot cards that she's reading. She's been paid here for this prediction, despite the negative outcome by the looks of it. You can see the coins on the table. And also spewing forth from her eyes and mouth are writhing plumes of ectoplasm. Something I really, really love the idea of. Kind of originated as just a means for sort of Victorian or maybe pre-Victorian charlatans to kind of show in photographs that something magical was happening, blowing thick smoke as if it was coming out of someone's mouth and forming an illusion, forming a predictive or, ghostly apparition as if it's being channeled through someone. This is D&D, we can make it as real as we like. So I had all this smoke coming out of her mouth, and it's kind of billowing around this table and shrouding this scene in mystery. I always like the idea that if someone summons something in D&D, although you can go for the kind of modern interpretation of like, a ring of magic opens up or something pops into existence, you could alternatively, if you're going for a kind of creepy thing, maybe a warlock who has a pact of the blade, draw forth from your mouth a billowing cloud of ectoplasm that forms into a ghostly and cloud-covered blade or staff or something along those lines. But I had absolutely tons of fun with her. I got to make all sorts of little ornaments and decorations all over her. Drawing older characters is also always really fun. Almost no one ever seems to pick an old character unless they're playing a wizard. But they're really, really fun to draw because they have a lot of lines and wrinkles and definition on their faces, which make them very characterful and interesting to draw. But yeah, I had loads of time to draw this one today, and so I absolutely went to town on it. This was a really, really fun one for me to draw. I've talked already about how much I like painting smoke, and so I absolutely filled this room with it. And it's a nice scene with a bit of extra kind of dimensionality to it. There's a relationship between these two characters, and I thought I could leave it up to you guys to determine what that is, But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I absolutely adored making this one and reimagining this character who I love to fit into my games. She's kind of like my favourite demi-goddess that I like to have interact with my players because she's divine enough to know more than the players. She can see into the future perfectly, but chaotic enough that she has no incentive to necessarily help or hinder them. She's not evil because chaos and entropy, the things that she thrives on, are progress, they are change. They're not necessarily bad. but they do upset the natural order. So a kind of chaotic neutral style demi-deity. But anyway, hope you had fun with this prompt if you are drawing along with me. And otherwise, I just hope you have a fantastic day. And until next time, until tomorrow even, where we'll be covering the prompt word dilute. Plenty to think about there. Once again, an idea is already forming out of the miasma of the ectoplasm surrounding this room for me. So I hope you have a cool idea as well, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.